It's your boy ConstantViz34. Welcome to another Saturday night stream. Gonna wait for people to roll in here to the stream. Share the link. Well, we're back here on another Saturday. It's Alpine Saturday. Here, put the link up. But what a week for DMB. We'll talk some of the shows and we'll talk some things we did here. Me and Talking Tunes had a video to go, but for some reason it's not being allowed to be uploaded to YouTube. I'm working on trying to still resolve that. But if you're in a Facebook group called People in Every Direction, you will be able to see that video. I just uploaded it there. It has some information about the show in Riverbend and some reaction from Talking Tunes, aka Alan, there that you guys should definitely check out if you're a part of that Facebook group, People in Every Direction, PIED for short. And Tripping Billies is starting off the show from Alpine, 9:29 Eastern, 8:29 Central, and this is a show in the Central Time Zone in East Troy, Wisconsin, a little bit west of Milwaukee. Okay, so we got the live link stream posted. No one in just yet, but hopefully Patrick will come soon. Even those, thank you guys for those who are watching the replay of this, especially anyone from Alpine. So we start off weekends with Deer Creek, and we have some things going on here where they do a great 2 nights in Deer Creek. We were on the air last week during that second night, and Ants Marching ends it, and that was a little bit of a disappointment for some fans. Some fans wanted Halloween, and we got two-step to Ants Marching to end it. But I mean, honestly, anything with two-step nowadays, having that back and having the short two-step into something else is a really dope thing to have. So they got, Deer Creek Night 2. If you look at the set on paper, the beginning of the set, you have a Too Much and it goes to Bayou. You have a Minarets and Crush. Those are two nice. A Minarets tour debut and Crush. Then you have a Samurai Cop, and then you have an Idea of You tour debut. So that was a special thing because it hasn't been played this year. So total, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tour debuts. So that's kind of the big thing about night 2. Minarets, Idea of You, Squirm, Fool to Think, Rooftop, and Water into Wine. The big ones are Rooftop. We have our first Away from the World song getting play here for the full band. Dave has played Mercy and some other stuff by himself or with Dave and Tim. But when we have, Rooftop and Water into Wine, which just hasn't been played since 2015, 6/26/2015. Those are the two big things. Shout out to Copper Pot. One of the cool things about this show, we get a Rooftop and then we get Mr. Chester Copper Pot 5. Sorry, yawning again. Long day again. And he puts it right up. So we have that Water into Wine. Oh, Shaking Like a Monkey seconds. So, whoop-de-doo. I mean, hey, I'd rather have it second than last. The biggest pet peeve is they've ended shows on that. That's not cool. But what we do have here is, again, the Water and the Wine and Rooftop. And Fool to Think is a great song to bring out for this tour. Song I'm chasing, still haven't heard it live. And just a really nice one to brought out. So it was a good show. There isn't like I mean, Water in the Wine is really that breakthrough moment. There isn't something that went away a long time ago that came back as far as a full song. Water in the Wine is more of a segue, minute 42. But we don't have a big special moment like last year's two step. I'm sorry, guys. Last year's two step was just one of the biggest moments of the tour. This year we get a two step in the hands. It's still a great show, still a great thing. But night two you can debate that night one has more surprises. We have an If I Had It All, Liberation. We have a Write a Song tour debut. Hadn't been played since last August out in Colorado, and even before that, it was even rarer. You have a Boa to start off night one, and you have the Stone, Sugar Will. So you have more of the things people are chasing in the first night. You can argue that Deer Creek Night 1 is better. Talking Tunes, what up? Deer Creek Night 1 was better. But what we want to do next is we want to talk about what happens after Deer Creek, which is Riverbend. And it's one Ohio show this year. There's not two. And what that does is it really puts an emphasis on, all right, this is the only time that you're going to have a show in Ohio. You don't have that two-night stand, two venue stand. And what do they do? Well, they don't mail in the show. It's not like the best show of the tour. Obviously, it's a 1 week. It's a one-stop show, but we get a couple really cool things. We get a Lion Our Graves tour debut. We get a Sugar Will and a Stay or Leave. Those are two really solid songs in the lineup. We get another Rooftop. We get a Typical Situation, which is one of the best songs. One of the best songs that this band plays in its current formation. There's better songs that I want to hear more, but Typical Situation is one of the best sounding songs from this band. We get a Fly Like an Eagle by itself. No Jimmy thing. And then you get a Funny How Time Slips Away tour debut. These are great things for a midweek show. They're not mailing it in. They're not playing it safe. It's not a two-night stand caliber show. It could be a night one, but it's not a night two of a two-night stand quality show. But that's okay. I think the biggest thing that I like about this week, what I've liked about the last couple weeks, is these midweek shows have had some variety, have had some passion and energy, and to have these type of sets, to have a Rooftop be played, is something that's really, really cool. Have an idea if you be played again after it was played at Deer Creek for them to keep it rolling. It was awesome. And it's really cool. And Talking Tunes, aka Alan, did go there. I'm gonna try to get the video up, and I was gonna actually play it on this stream, but the only thing is the audio is a little harder to hear through my speakers. I can't cut to it from this. I don't have those capabilities on my laptop. So definitely, if I can get that up, I'll get it up. And if I can, I can't. But we'll see what we can do with that. But I've tried a couple different things, and I think some of it has to do with some sort of copyright infringement. It may be some of the PA music that I tried to mute on the video, and it's not working out here. So, but the Riverbend was really, really a really solid show. And then what do we do next? We go the next day to Tinley Park, Illinois. 41 being played right now. And Tinley Park hadn't been played for about a decade, I believe. Let me go. It really hasn't been played. Yeah, so the last show from Tinley Park was 9/26/2009. So it's an interesting venue. There's some issues with it. They essentially have like Saratoga. They have an upper deck, and just like SPAC, it kind of impacts the lawn's views. And upper deck is, I believe, more of a suite type thing. It's more of like it's more like luxury boxes than anything. So it's just a venue that has its issues, and the band has avoided it. They've gone to Northerly Island, but Northerly Island is a bad venue in Chicago because A, there's a curfew, B, the floor is flat, and then the upper level or like the bleachers or risers are so far from the stage, you don't really have a good vantage point. It's almost like you're in a lawn, and there's a lawn behind all of that. So the Illinois venues are just pretty trash for the amphitheaters. United Center is a great arena, and then you do have some smaller theaters. Dave is too big for those smaller theaters, but there's not really a good venue there in the Chicago area. You have North of the Island and you have Tinley Park, and then really all you have is ballparks, which they shouldn't play anymore, even though they're good sets. You have Soldier Field, where the Grateful Dead had their fare thee well, but still not something DMB should play. They should stick to amphitheaters for the sound. So, but anyway, the Chicago show is great. You have a You Never Know opening up. It was the second of three. You Never Knows. You have a rooftop next day. I mean, next show again, having rooftop be played again into a fish tender. That's a great way to start off a show. You Never Know rooftop fish tender. And then you have, a couple songs. Then you have Crush, and then you have Gray Street, and then you have, a little. It gets kind of worn out, and you get Nancy's in the 15th spot, and then the encore. Warehouse is cool that it ended on Warehouse because typically they don't end on Warehouse. It's not a Watchtower cover, but You and Me anywhere in the encore to me, I avoid it like the plague. I got it in Mansfield. I do wish that wasn't there because I'm not a fan of the song, but I'd rather have it in the regular set. So wait for all the hype and get You and Me to start off. I'd rather have Oh, which I'm not even that big of a fan of, but it's better. There's also a power outage during Bartender for 15 seconds during the song, and the band recovers. They keep going, and they've had that happen before. Once another time was in an arena. You just hear Carter playing. And I think the power outage issue is one of the reasons that they haven't gone back to Tinley Park. Now, I don't know exactly if it was because of the venue or if it was because of something else or who knows, but things like that are why, even if it wasn't their fault, why they haven't gone to Tinley Park and why they elected to go to Northerly Island there in Chicago itself, towards Soldier Field, the north end of Chicago. But you have two solid midweek shows, and that's what I like about this band right now. They're doing a great job of having these midweek shows where they're not mailing it in. Beginning of the tour, they were. And even looking at last year, I'm going to pick a random. Okay, so we have, let me just go to, okay. So like, see, they took a lot of weekdays off last year. But Lakeview, they had So Right. But like last year, they played Lakeview, and it's just like Samurai Cop, right? And Stand Up in the Space Between and Can't Stop and Jimmy Thing, and the encore is You and Me and Bayou. Like, oh my gosh, what a horrible encore for anyone. That's just and then that show they did have Melissa Gardner on trombone. She's a talented trombonist, but that's like a Tuesday. Darien Lake. Let's go to Darien Lake. I mean, look at this show again and again. One Sweet World, Squirm. Then they have Boa, and then it's Satellite, Samurai Cop, Can't Stop, Jimmy Thing, You and Me, She. Like that run right there. Satellite, Samurai Cop, Can't Stop, Jimmy Thing, You and Me, She. Crash Into Me, Bayou. Then they do have a captain, which is cool. And then it goes Warehouse, Come On, 41, What Would You Say, Billy's, and Ants Marching as a single song encore. Like the shows and the energy this year, there's a lot more things for everybody, not just the Phantom wants all the hits. There's the deep cuts like Sugar Will midweek. Now Captain was played at the show I'm showing you in New York, but I mean, even going back, actually a better example is going to, let's see, we're gonna go to that Alabama show, which was horrendous. They had to reschedule the Orange Beach show, and I mean, this show was just, I mean, there was nothing. I mean, you have one Super Bowl, Stay or Leave, then you have Satellite again and again, Crush. Okay, Samurai Cop, Bayou, Sledgehammer, Come on, Don't Drink the Word, Digging a Ditch, Warehouse, Can't Stop, You Might Die Trying, Here on Out, Every Day, Funny the Way It Is, Ants Marching. Like, there's not one. Crush is a good song, but there's not one game-breaking song on that set. And then they did Shake Me Like a Monkey to end the show. They did Sister for 3 minutes, and then Shake Me Like a Monkey for 3 minutes, and then it was that was it. And not even that, just the sound of that show. Dave's voice was shot. You know, the midweek shows like that are just examples of what last year could have been better there. Although I did like Buddy last year. Anything Buddy did last year was amazing there. So, all right. So yeah. So I mean, I really like what they did, and hey Luke, how's it going? Thanks for coming into the stream. And Alpine was great last night. We have night one of Alpine, and we start off with You Never Know, which has started two of the three times it's been played. It's opened the show. One time it wasn't. I was there in Hartford for this tour. You never know when to bridge, and I love this. Anyone see the bridge thing? Just starting off stuff. They did that, I believe, in Deer Creek to start off night two, and to have that continue through to the fifth last night was just a really cool thing there. Oh, look, your DMB set list. Okay. On Twitter at DMB set list. Cool. Well, thanks for coming in. And we were just talking set list. I'm sure you hopped in on that. But last night, one of the cool things I thought on Warehouse, what I liked about Warehouse, at least from the Sirius XM stream, I couldn't hear this in Hartford, but who knows? Oh, thanks. Thanks, Talking Team, if you sent them over here. Appreciate it. But Warehouse last night, what I liked is now it still was Tim was still playing the riff, the done like in the verses. Oh, you saw one of his videos. You told him, "Hey, thank you for the recommendation. I'll have to check out your stuff, DMB setlist or Luke there." And yeah, so Warehouse just having that piano be in the mix for at least the XM stream, I like that. I really think that Buddy should be turned up more, and he has been turned up. But there's been like at the Mansfield show, I couldn't hear him as much on the piano. I think it's the piano that needs to be turned up. The organ you can hear it fine on Every Day and Great Street, which I've heard those from the band. But I just really think that the piano should be more of a part of it. And even last week, I talked Satellite from Live Tracks 31 that's out there. The show that is in Camden, the first Camden Live Tracks. There's one in 2013 they did, and then one in 2001. The one in 2001, the best Satellite I've heard, the best arrangement of Satellite. And one of the key things is Butch is playing the keys. Luke says, I miss Butch, Roy and Boyd. Yeah, I mean, I don't miss Butch as much because Buddy does more of what Butch does. But I mean, Butch is his own player. He's not the same style as Buddy, but Buddy can do the fills and sing. But I think the one thing with Butch is people. I think when they compare Butch and Buddy, Butch was on Michael Jordan's Bulls. Buddy is on the 2005 Detroit Pistons. Like in order for the Pistons to win that against the Lakers in 2005, they had to have everyone clicking on all cylinders. Butch was on the best team of all time for D&D in the 2000s, and which he did great. He did great, although he was, to me, like some of his solos, like the SPAC live tracks, the first SPAC live tracks from the show from I think 2000. Um, that Lion Our Grave solo that he does in the two step, so like Butch kills it. But he was on one of the best teams of all time. Like if you look at D&B, it's D&B in their prime. It's the Michael Jordan '96 Bulls. Like, so people miss Butch, and I wish I could have seen him. I never saw him live, but he's also part of that era where everyone in the band was on point. Dave still had his voice. He was also getting better at singing because Dave wasn't as good of a singer early on. He improved his craft. His guitar playing got better too. His guitar playing improved the quality of his guitar through the system. Him staying in tune, having guitar techs to keep him in tune instead of playing one guitar that he was tuning by ear. When you get to 2000, 2001 with Butch, the band is at its best. So Roy to me is who I miss the most because I never saw him, and what he brings to the shows I never went to is what makes me wish I had him. And then the sound of the band was different. When Roy was alive, Tim Reynolds was not. Even if Tim came on full time, Tim was not as turned up when Roy was alive because the sound was more acoustic. Um, I miss Boyd at times, definitely, but Roy is the number one guy I miss because he challenged Dave. Roy hated 41, but he played 41 sax and flute at times. And to me, he is once when you lost him to, even if you have Jeff Coffin, who's amazing and covers a lot of stuff that we're blessed to have Jeff Coffin. Make no mistake about it. If there wasn't a Jeff Coffin who had had so much time with the band would have fell apart. They would have had to take a break. They would have had to take 6 months to a year off and figure out who they were going to train to learn all this stuff. But at the same time, nobody can replace Leroy. Even Boyd not being here, which you do see in certain songs. To me, Roy is the number one person that's missed because of how he dictated the sound. Rashawn was learning how to play with Roy, and Roy was giving Rashawn more of a creative control. But post Roy, Rashawn has been much more of a squealing trumpet. At times, I'm like, yo, we don't need trumpet here. So they reached the one show where they did Money into Money. Oh, the Pink Floyd Money into Money. That's the one I want. Pittsburgh, night 2008, night two. Yeah, it's tough. There's so many shows they can release, and I think they're saving a lot of that over time. They just released the Harper Show Live Tracks 47, I believe it is, and that show was Samurai Cop. Yeah, they did that show, and that show the T-shirt sold out online. So I think they're gonna slowly, one thing they're gonna Instagram. Instagram actually controls and slowly drips out your likes. When you're on Instagram, people could like it all at once. People know. I think a lot of you may know this, but they slowly drip out the likes to give you that satisfaction over a 2 or 3 hour period at times, depending on how many likes you have. But if you're popular, you'll see certain likes minutes later, half an hour later. That's what the band is doing with their content. They know that the content is valuable. A lot of this stuff's not going to come out until they're retired. Some of it may not ever fully come out, but they're definitely holding back some content. You see, they bust out a Hartford show that is really, really well put together. We'll see what they do with that show, but yeah, that was a big show to do the Pink Floyd into the money, the other money to money. So far, Billy, Shake Me Like a Monkey, 41, Stay or Leave, Samurai Cop are the first 5 of tonight. I was talking to people on DMB. I think it was people in every direction of DMB family earlier today. Someone's like, "Oh, are they going to do this? Or are they going to do that?" And I pretty much was saying like, you're going to have some someone was like, they're gonna have more Away from the World. I'm like, maybe if anything, one song. They probably won't play Away from the World today. But I said, Come Tomorrow was played 3 times last night, so they're not gonna play more than two or three Come Tomorrow. Oh, Talking Tunes, you got all those songs selected. That's awesome. Except Shaking Like a Monkey. But who's gonna pick Shaking Like a Monkey? You shouldn't pick the. I know some people like the song. It's a high energy song. It's the rock band version. But I just and actually the studio version actually I like it. I just at a show when Tim gets the flying V, I'm like, dude, just next song. I prefer not to hear it, but it is a high energy song. Um, there. So you were at Riverbend too. Okay, so you were at Riverbend. Um, so yeah, you guys got a good show. They did not mail it in. And but yeah, what I was saying, DB family, I said essentially they're gonna do a couple come tomorrow, big whiskey. I knew big whiskey because they didn't, and then they're gonna do like a stand up or Bayou because they didn't do stand up last night. So I said they're gonna do a little bit of, you're gonna fill in a couple come tomorrow. No, yeah, a couple come tomorrow, maybe one or two if that, and then the other one is gonna be the big whiskey and then stand up. Then I said they're gonna probably have 1 to 2 unreleased rarities. So that could be JTR, Break Free, Kill the King. Could be Last Stop or Shotgun. I don't think they're playing Shotgun. Someone rumored that they practiced Shotgun at a sound check yesterday. It hasn't been confirmed. And the person running Typical DMB's account just didn't have the knowledge that he or she thought they were sound checking, and it was just the text, testing the equipment. So people saying this stuff, we don't have solid sources. And shout out to the Typical DMB account because my boy Jesse got to 3,500 subscribers, I believe, today, or followers. You should definitely follow him because he gives people, everyone gets a chance if he at their local venue to curate and run the account, which is very cool and unique. Now, sometimes, like last night, someone ran the account who just didn't know what they thought was a sound check was the tech guys, testing the guitars and bass and drum and keys. It wasn't the full band. But that's stuff that, hey, like I probably couldn't tell that either myself. Although if I hear a full song, I probably know. But that was someone had to correct them there. But shout out to Typical DMB at Typical DMB. Allows people experience, inexperience, old and new, different perspectives every night when he shares his Twitter account. Jesse from CT, Connecticut represent. So yeah, but I said there's probably going to be 1 or 2 unreleased rarities that we see. Oh, every day. So every day's next. I'm sure the place is rocking, and that's the other thing too. And Talking Tunes always has that good point. He's not going to criticize shows he didn't go to. Now I look at set lists and I can't help but do it, but it really is, you have to be there. A show like Hartford a couple nights ago, yeah, people look at that set, but what the band was doing that night was on point everywhere. They had certain songs that they were just going through. Cornbread was not lagging at all, and other songs like Being There, you're like, wow, they killed it. Now that was a good set, but if certain songs were changed, even if it wasn't songs I liked, the band still would have been on fire, and I wouldn't have known that unless I was there. Now they did 2-Step in Halloween. You never know. We got blessed. #blessed. And even Deer Creek got some great shows. Alpine's getting great shows. But certain shows, if you're not there, you don't understand the greatness. And Talking Tunes always reminds me of that. And I love how he brings that perspective of saying, hey man, like as much as I look at the numbers, I look at the stats, you weren't there. Now, if you listen to a show and it seems off, that's one thing. And there's shows like Hartford 2010 Night 1. If you look at that set list, look at that DMB Almanac it, Hartford Night 1 2010, you will be like, holy liberation. My friend who was there, it said the show, while it was amazing, and it's a show that he'll remember the set list for, the band wasn't all together on some of those rarities they busted out. Now I'd rather have them bust out and make mistakes than not. But he said if you listen back to the tape or audio, I mean, there was times where they were just getting it, just holding on to the football. They were almost about to fumble it in some of those rarer songs they played that night, Hartford Night 1, 2010. So, you have to, that's the one thing I try to keep in mind, and Talking Tunes brought that up. Now, Luke, the other cool thing I was trying to bring to everyone is Talking Tunes actually recorded some stuff from Riverbend, but because of YouTube, they're saying there's something with the copyright, and I've been changing it. I tried to mute out the PA because they were playing AC/DC and some other stuff. I tried to mute that out. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Nope, they still won't let me upload it, but I'll try to get that up in some form, even if it's just the interview parts that Talking Tunes had and that we had in between the clips that I tried to put together. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But this band, the sound of the band right now, they're maximizing their potential. They are the Vince Carter 10 years in. He can't do a 360 dunk, right? He can't cross over guys and drive to the hole as much, but he's using his jump shot. He's getting his solid 15 to 20 points, and he's letting the other guys, the younger guys, get in there and mentor him. That's what DMB is doing right now, and this band, it's a great band to see here. Oh, thanks, Luke. Yeah, and I've mentioned a couple of there. I use hockey. There's some hockey players that go to the third line. You have some Scott Gomez's. You have some other players Jerome McGinley's, who towards the end of their career, they were leading goal scorers or they were leading point getters for their team, but they moved to the second or third line and keep that third line solid. That's what DMB is right now. They're not that wide. They're the wide receiver in the slot. They got to block a little more, like Larry Fitzgerald. So I'll use in sports because doesn't always all translate, but a lot of what we look at where the band is right now, they are like a veteran sports player. They know the game, they know the turn, they know everything, but their body and what they want to do are totally different. Dave's voice is shot, as I've mentioned a lot of times here on here. His voice is shot from years of touring. And baseball, yeah, and baseball too, because baseball is a sport where these guys are signing these big contracts, and some years they just go missing. Oh, Indians fans. So is Talking Tunes. He was just at the game with his mother a couple that last week or 2 weeks ago, and my friend is my friend who got me into DMB, who I married a year ago. I didn't marry him. I married him and his wife. But he's going to a suite for Red Sox Indians. He happens to be on business there, and there's a corporate box there. And Luke, I'm a huge baseball part guy because I was talking Tunes about the crates, about the drummer in center field or left center field, and how Indians used to have. It's funny, the Indians used to have those attendance records. They had the nonstop, not the attendance record, the attendance streaks. You have Progressive Field, you have Oriole Park at Camden Yards, and you had, I believe, Coors Field as well. They opened up these Oriole Park at Camden Yards being the trailblazer for all of those. They had all these sellouts. And then now you're starting to see they can't get people out to the games. Even when the Indians are on runs, they're on pin. I'm a Yankees fan. Trying to go to PNC. I was talking Tunes. Been trying to go there. I'm a diehard Yankees fan. I go to Fenway every year for Yankees, Red Sox. And I go to Yankee Stadium when I can. I'm halfway between both, but I just like the nostalgia of Fenway. I love hearing the boos at Fenway. And growing up in Connecticut, that was a big rivalry. I went to school in Central Connecticut. It's like the war line of the Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. In 2003, I'm like Aaron Boone, yelling his name around school. In 2004, I'm like, what just happened? Did the curse just end? Like what just happened? Like, so I'm a huge baseball guy, and although I don't like the band playing in ballparks, nothing you hate more than the Yankees. The problem is though, there's not that used to get people out to ball games. I've gone to see them in Baltimore. On the Gorge week, they're playing in Seattle, and of course I'm going to be there. So I'm going down there early to the Gorge that Tuesday to catch the Yankees and cross off safe, well not safe, but T-Mobile Park, which just changed. Um, but the Yankees, wherever I've gone, they used to fill up the ballpark for that day. Now Baltimore, they don't. It's not as much. Tampa used to be fuller. It's not as much. Even when they go to the Cleveland's, Chicago's on TV. Yeah, I agree, Luke. And I've been to Dead and Company. My friend, his dad. I mean, his dad has connects. He was a guitar tech back in the day. He would just tour with the Who and the Stones. When the Stones and the Who came over and did their first U.S. show, somehow he just got backstage, or somehow he just had connections to the music industry locally when they would come to the Northeast. Oh no, California, because he was in California at the time. So long story short, he's got connects. He knew a stage manager. So I got these seats at the soundboard at Citi Field, Mets, where the Mets play. And these are the best seats possible that you can get for sound because it's by the soundboard in a ballpark which is not meant to have music in it. And it just was there was a great sound, but I went to walk around the venue and I'm like, so I'm on the field, I'm in center field at Citi Field. And I go and walk around, and when I go to the concourse, like the sound is just it's not the same as being at the soundboard. And if you're not at the soundboard anywhere else in the ballpark, it sucks. And DMB puts on heck of concerts at the Caravans, which I hope they don't do another Caravan. I hope they have it. If they do a Caravan, it's at an amphitheater. So have 3 nights at the amphitheater and have all these crazy openers. But don't do a flat field, which I hate, and then don't do a ballpark. Or football stadiums are almost better than ballpark because ballparks are just weird. Being at Citi Field, like it's just there's the corners and crevices. Like at least a football stadium, you just have some stacks and you shoot it straight out to the back, and even that's still shaky. Amphitheater is the best. Amphitheaters and sometimes arenas are better. There are arena shows I went to at times can be better. Just depends on like obviously nothing's better. Like Saratoga Springs was amazing last year. SPAC was amazing. The sound was on point. I mean that's meant for ballets and orchestras, but like some of these Live Nation venues for sound are horrible. They're horrible. Mansfield this year was trash. And even I heard, speaking of arenas, the TD Garden in Boston, which is a world-class sporting arena, they've had like, yeah, the SPAC lawn sucks, and the reason being is they essentially the lawn is it's oversold. Now they have number 27, number 27. So that's the unreleased song. There you go, unreleased song number 1. I'm giving you guys 2. I'm telling you 2 rarer unreleased songs are going to be played today, if not more. Maybe I'm wrong. Number 27 is number 1. I know it's been played a couple of times, but that may be the second or third play this tour. But that's the first rare one, and I'm sure there's going to be another one. But the SPAC lawn, if you go to a show, like there's certain ballets there, number 34, Talking Tunes, it's getting, I mean, who knows because it's Alpine, but they did 41 and 27. So 40 or 34. I don't think they're doing 40. 40 will be next week at SPAC. They always do a partial. But number 34, we'll see. With that, we'll see. And they did 2 numbers. So, you know, it does hurt your odds, but it's Alpine, so you don't know. First time in a long, no, I think that they did 27 and 41. Last year at SPAC, they did 40 and 41. Chronicles of AJ. How do I protect my wallet from? How do you protect your wallet? I don't know. I think you have to. how do you protect your wallet from your wife? I think figuring out what she wants to eat. That'll help. The wallet will stay there. If you figure out what she wants to eat, or you help her pick out what she wants to wear, if you can do one of those two things, that will increase your chances. Especially the figuring out what she wants to eat. If you can make that decision and then she agrees with it, that's what I would say. I'm not married. I did marry my friends last year that were DMB fans, but that's what I would say just from my knowledge of observing couples, married couples, uh, and then also having four aunts. My mom is one of four sisters. Well, Red Lobster, it could be worse. Like Red Lobster, the thing about Red Lobster is it's not like if it was like here in New England, if it's the more expensively priced or higher priced um, seafood place, that's gonna get you. But if it's Red Lobster, I guess you gotta that give or take. You know, if it's Red Lobster, it could be worse. That's perspective, and that's a lot of what marriage is about. Trust me, I've married people or married one couple, but perspective. You gotta just. I'm not going to SPAC. Benny Abs, what's up? The reason being is my money is invested in the Gorge, and I can. I'm not married. I'm not married, but I what I would say is I have good knowledge on what it takes to be successful in a marriage from learning from my parents who have been happily married for about 32 years now. 30, yeah, I think it's 32 years. Having great examples of all my grandparents, all four of my grandparents are still alive and still married, and taking notes from them, especially my grandparents, how they're still alive, their wives haven't killed them yet, or led to the stress to kill them. I know that sounds horrible, but like, um, and Luke, you said I wish I played Pittsburgh or bot or they played Pittsburgh. I think a lot of what that has to do is you were trolling. I was trying to answer seriously, man. Um, but happy wife, happy life is a thing, and when you invest in good deeds, it pays off. Um, Luke says, "I wish they played Pittsburgh or Blossom, one or the other." I think the thing is with the band now, they're trying to explore. Like they explored the South a lot more this year. They're trying to mix it up. They don't want to do the same touring over and over, so they cut Pittsburgh, which is historically has had some great shows. Talking Tunes got me this. Oh, this is the Scranton one. Sorry, Montage Mountain. Yeah, that's Scranton. That's all. That's still ways away. That's in the Poconos area, or just outside the Poconos. Sorry, but the Pittsburgh one, Patrick Brewer. I don't know if he's on, but he showed me some great Pittsburgh shows. They cut those, and they're saying what they're doing now is they're saying, all right, in the Midwest, here's what's going to happen. We're doing Deer Creek, we're doing Alpine. Everything else is up for change. So they do Missouri this year, right? Maryland Heights, Missouri. They do Des Moines, Iowa. They're kind of saying, look, this is what will stay permanent. Everything else can be demolished. And it's devastating because fans in Pittsburgh have been they've gotten great shows. Although the Lawn last year I heard didn't sell out. And I looked at the Pittsburgh sales a couple last year, I think. That if you look at the sales, they're not on par with the other shows. They're bigger than some shows that are still on the tour. But if you're gonna cut in that area, you got Deer Creek, you got Alpine, and Riverbend. I think just worked out. You have that Riverbend date open after Deer Creek, so they can just go right down to Riverbend. To go up to Cuyahoga County, I think was a tough thing to do in that run, and they're trying to just like the Sports Star of Gray Street next. What they're trying to do is they're trying to cut back the games and stress of playing as much. They're cutting back their playing time. Well, now they are still adding shows, but what they're doing is they're saying, all right, we don't want to have to go hard in Pittsburgh and Blossom. We're just going to do Riverbend, and then we're going to have fun in Pensacola earlier in the tour. So there's no pressure, there's no stress. We can just kind of chill. Just like certain superstars, they don't necessarily play as much minutes in certain games. They can relax for a game, or if they're up for a little, they get on the bench and they just chill. Or they come into a game with the lead, and that's when they play more minutes. They're trying to take the pressure off. The beginning of the tour was a preseason. So in order to have the Pensacola, Jacksonville, in order to have all those shows and have enough energy for the entire year, they came back from Europe, which again, less pressure. The people sit there and they shut up and they will take whatever you play. I think that in that mix of having all these other shows, having more festivals where they can make good money and show up and do a smaller set than they do, like they're going to do at Alpine tonight. They're going to do a smaller set at these festivals. See Here Now, what was going to be the Virginia festival, where they canceled the first night, something in the water, and they're doing Kaboo in San Diego. They can mail in those sets and play the hits, and they don't have to do as much, exert as much energy. Last year, you saw that too. They've done Jazz Fest this year. Last year, they went up to Quebec for that festival, and then a couple other festivals. So I think what they did is they cut certain stuff, and people are going to be hurt. They're going to be hearts broken. They're not coming back to Hershey. I was like, oh, go back to Hershey. No, Hershey was not even an amphitheater. It's a football stadium with speakers and a stage. And I've been there. I went up there to Hershey, and I've been up to the Amish country twice. Played at, no, I didn't play at Hershey. I played at a high school out there for band in high school in Hershey Park. So I've seen that venue. It's not a good venue. It's not a good venue for music. So that's what I'll say about that is they had to make some tough cuts. And if you're not a 2-night stand, anything's up for sale. I mean, Hartford's been cut down to 1 night. Mansfield is 1 night. Hartford used to have 3 nights and was arguably a venue that, you know, it had some of the highest attendance of the tour outside of the stadium. Amphitheater wise, they had 22,000 people both nights of Hartford, or 3 nights of Hartford. 22,000 on the lawn. The lawn in Hartford is bigger than most amphitheaters, and that's a curse now, because if they don't sell that out, like they haven't for a lot of night ones when they were getting into 13 and 14 and 15, they cut Hartford down to 1 show. Actually, they cut it down to 15 1 show. So 12, 13, and 14, the lawn attendance was down. Open seats were a little here and there, but then they cut it down to 1 show because the lawn is too big. So if they're cutting Hartford down from 3 to 1, anything can go with this band. And that's the reality. We have to be grateful the band has toured so much, because many bands take years off, they take time off, and this band hasn't. When Dave's not touring with his band, he's doing Dave solo, Dave and Friends, Dave and Tim. And, you know, Fonzie has his side projects. You know, Rashawn is with Slightly Stoopid and OAR and all this type of stuff. Now, Benny App says, what songs are on my wish list? For me personally, Fool to Think, I want to get that song. I want What You Are as well. Those are 2 songs I would really like to hear. Last Stop, for sure. I would love to hear Last Stop, too. Do I like OAR? Not really. I haven't really heard much of their stuff. I taught this guy, my boss, my hall director, he was a huge OAR fan, and I looked at like that was a crazy game of poker. But I don't know. They just, now I haven't listened. I haven't listened to a lot of it, of that great band, or great band. I don't know if they're great or not, but the band out of Rockville, Maryland. There, I just haven't. They haven't intrigued me enough to listen to their catalog. The live stuff is better than their studio, yeah. And there's been a couple of shows they've been around here. I'm just like, I'll try to give them a listen and see how I like them. But I just feel like the people that have covered OAR or like OAR, I just like, But that's how I felt about DMB fans. So maybe I would be impressed. And I know they have live instrumentation, of course, and I respect that. But I'll check them out there. But songs on my wish list, yeah, I like Fool to Think and What You Are, the 2 that I would love to hear. I love Shotgun. I just don't think it's realistic. And then obviously I'll take a Dreaming Tree. I'll take a Spoon again. But I was blessed enough to hear both of those in 2013. I'll take another Captain. But really, I want to get What You Are. I would love a What You Are set closer in the first set. What You Are, boom. I would love a Fool to Think mid set. Just because those are stuff I haven't gotten. I mean, I've gotten everything on For These Crowded Streets except Last Stop. But to me, the Last Stop, the one thing about the Last Stop that people overlook, if it's not done right, it can be very clunky and unorganized. Same thing with Dreaming Tree. If they've butchered Dreaming Tree, but it's Dreaming Tree, I'd rather hear them butcher it than nothing. But it's a hard song for them to put together. The tempo changes, the energy, and that's why I think Last Stop. I know he sings "That Girl Is You" and expounds a lot of energy. Oh, Sugar Will pops up. I know he, but like the Last Stop is just it's a high energy song, and I think Dave's voice it's hard for him to do now. We got it in 2016 a little bit, but since I don't think we've gotten it more than once. Let me see the Last Stop when he played it at the Gorge. What, night 3? And I don't think he played it since. I mean, maybe he played it once since then. The Last Stop. Oh, he played it. Oh, he played it in 2018. He did play it at the Gorge last. Yeah, he played it. Okay. Oh yeah, that was on YouTube. Duh, I saw that. But yeah, so he's played it once since 2016. So hey, play it this year. Hey, play it this year. I'm gonna be at the Gorge. Play it. But that's kind of my wish list. But I'm just kind of enjoying what the band does, and my wish list is more. It's not as realistic because the band is kind of set in what they're gonna do. But I would just love to hear a little more of an acoustic band. I would love for this band Satellite. There were too many people playing in the chorus. Too many people playing. And it's always kind of been like that. But when you have a horn and a sax and Tim playing over him, the Satellite chorus, the best part of the chorus is Dave Matthews. What he's playing on a guitar is incredibly hard to play while you're singing. To slide down and play it so gently. Like a song like Satellite, the two main parts of that are Dave and the piano in this formation of the band. Gently soft Dave in the piano. That's why I like the Satellite version from Live Tracks 31. To me, that's what I would love to have, but it's not realistic. And the band sounds great. I mean, the band's on fire. But I just I don't think that I don't think that we need as much horn. And Tim has done a great job of and some of it's the guys controlling the sound. Um, but yeah, to me, the sound is more important because when the sound is great, it doesn't matter what they play as much. Satellite again can sound better if you have an intro, and that's the other thing too is the intro and outros. I was running today in 90 heat index of 97, like about to die. Did 6 miles, and I was listening to the Captain reprise from Alpine Valley. I think that was 2015. It's on the bonus disc of the Alpine Valley show. I think it's Live Tracks 36. The reprise of the Captain reprise was awesome. Like that's a moment. That's what I would want to hear more than just another song. The Fool to Think extended jam that they did. That's on the latest Warehouse disc that I got from. I think that was the end of early this year. I got it with the pop socket, whatever year that was. I think that was for I forget which years they because now they send them out on different months. The month you renew, you get it. So it may be the last year's one that I got. But that Fool to Think, the prelude to Grace, like that's the stuff that I would hope for. Even though again, I just want to make it clear, I love this band and where they're going and everything. But the stuff that I would like personally, selfishly, is to have that have the prelude to Grace, have the satellite intro from Live Tracks 31. Like that type of stuff is cool. And then the outros are extended jams and stuff, but they're just feeling it. To have a What You Are like Madison Square Garden 2010. Listen to that What You Are Madison Square Garden 2010. They play just a very unique version of it that's never been played before. It hasn't been played after that. Like that's what I want from the band more than a certain song. Hamilton, The Hollander, yeah, he played great. Did he do Lionheart Graves? He did a couple stuff. You know, he's been doing some stuff with the band. It was at the Gorge last year, I think. And Tim plays Big Rock. Right, right. The Trey fills and Trey is in Fish with the jam band. Yeah, versus the screen. Yeah, I agree. The harmonics on Don't Drink the Water, as I've said pretty much in every live stream, the harmonics in Don't Drink the Water are so annoying. Okay. The beginning of that song is supposed to be sneaky and eerie of I'm taking your land. That's why I like the Butch versions of it with the piano. I think Buddy should do the Butch version. Oh, DMB setlist. So you logged out and logged in as Luke. Okay, good to see it on your other page there. Um, but yeah, like the screeching Tim is what I don't like. And one of the things that the Super that he's playing now, that's like that teal colored guitar, it doesn't cut through as much. It doesn't cut through. I play Telecaster and I know it cuts through, and it's great in certain types of rock. But for DMB, the Telecaster, he plays it smooth, like with on the clean version of the Telecaster, fine. But when you have it distorted, the Fender Strat and the Fender Telecaster Tim has, when he cuts through stuff, it ruins the sound of the band. Where when he does Trey fills, I agree, Trey Anastasio type fills, which is more of a jam band, relaxed, like just doing it. Like that's the best Tim Reynolds. When he does that. Now, the exception is, and Sugar Will was just played. On Sugar Will, one thing that I said, I think I said it last week. Sugar Will is best with Tim Reynolds playing on it instead of not being on it. The most boring versions of Sugar Will are when at the end of the songs without the electric guitar. And it's just kind of it's a cool, you got the bass line. Like it's cool, but that electric guitar, that's where it shines. And I think the things the discrepancies I have with the band is is the timing of certain stuff, but they're the pros. They're more professional. I haven't toured across the country. I haven't done, but to me, just listening that and talking to, yeah, I would love to see Tim pick up an acoustic guitar. I would love him. I would love him to pick up an acoustic guitar. Um, you know, for the full band, he does not have to be on the electric guitar. So Robert Rab Stevenson is Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer being played. And Sledgehammer, I don't dislike the song. When I'm at the show, especially a couple of drinks in, I don't mind Sledgehammer. I don't mind Sledgehammer, but now it's starting to be played so much that I can understand why people don't like it. And I love Peter Gabriel live in Athens, 87. You want to talk about something sounds better live? Peter Gabriel live in Athens, 1987. That recording is just beyond anything that he put on studio tracks. I know Talking Tunes, you're a Genesis guy. I don't know how much you know of Gabriel. I'm sure you do because you're a prog rock guy. But like, I love that version of Sledgehammer. And someone said to me, a DMB fan, and I think I want to make a video about like what I love and hate about DMB fans. But some Dave Matthews Band fan said, I like the Dave Matthews Band version of Sledgehammer better than the Peter Gabriel version one. And I pulled up the live in Athens. I'm like, oh, heck no. This person is wild and they love Dave Matthews too much. And I love DMB. I make a video every Saturday about DMB on this stream. But they said, oh, I love the Dave Matthews version better. I'm like, what? Are you listen to the live in Athens 1987 version of this song? He's still like, oh, whatever. Like, I posted it and it didn't matter. But that's people have their opinions. Okay. It's beyond better with Peter. It's his song. Now, certain songs you could cover a song that could sound better. People debate with the Watchtower, with Hendrix doing it versus Bob Dylan, and so other stuff like that. But I mean, Gabriel Sledgehammer is the best Sledgehammer there. But like I said, the things with the band, it's nitpicking to me because this band has come leaps and bounds beyond what they were in 16 and what they were in 18. And I love to see Raven get more in the rotation, but I mean, this band is just fired up right now. I mean, the energy of these shows, the exchange of back and forth. Right, it's a quirky song, and that's what they are. I mean, even Buddy Shaw, they're all goofy in their own way. Carter smiling, chewing bubble gum. Fonz and his weird haircuts and hairdos that he off the stage that he has, and Jeff Coughlin and his little chin hair and his bucket of effort, and Rashawn too. I mean, they're all just cool dudes who have fun and are goofy. And they have I can't imagine the inside jokes and stuff on tour with them that they have, and they're always goofing off. So, but I mean, the band is in a good place. You got to take what you can get. Now, I wouldn't say that all the time. So, oh, you should be grateful. Like, no, there's been like certain, like last year at times, even before that, it's like, well, this band, well, no, they're only showing up for Saratoga, Alpine, and Deer Creek. But when you look at the sets this year, they're showing up for more than now. Mansfield, they didn't have it that night. Sometimes you just don't have it. Mansfield didn't have it. Still, Sugar Will was awesome, but that encore in Mansfield, but that happens. But Hartford the next night, boom, blazing through. The Friday night concert streams, they're killing it. No matter what they play, they're killing it. And that's what I like to see. The American Baby intro that they started last year, into Lie in the Hands of God is great. Red Rain, yeah. And that's the thing. See, I guess I make a lot of videos about DMB fans in my opinions, but two things that are kind of on my mind now are some of just the fan stuff in general at the shows, the poster buying and all that stuff. And then the other thing is the covers, which I mentioned in a video a couple weeks ago. Red Rain would never be done justice by DMB. They can't do it. They don't have the instruments. They don't have the organization to have the right pieces fit together unless they change their entire, like they add a couple people to their band. Red Rain would never, and that's how I feel about a lot of stuff they want. Like a couple people have brought up Genesis songs. I can't remember which one's talking to. I'm like, first off, this song is a journey. There's like three different parts of this song, and like the band would have to take so much time away from their rest and recovery to focus on a song that like really only should be played by Genesis or someone in the prog rock. That's their niche. They are covering prog rock. That's not DMB. DMB is inspired by prog rock, Talking Heads and Genesis, and even some of the more hair band electric rock, Sweet Emotion. And that's I agree. I can't see DMB doing a Genesis song. I can't see them doing too much of Floyd. Yes, Drunken Soldier has vibes of what's that song? It's from Dark Side of the Moon. It's gonna throw me up because I literally have listened to Dark Side of the Moon through every full marathon I've ran. What song is it? Do I listen to Papa Roach? Um, I did as a kid, like their hits. Like was it like Will You? I haven't listened to them in a while, but I used to like POD, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Shine Down. Like when I was a kid growing up in the at the turn of the century, I mean that's what I listened to. Um, Trapped. I mean, yeah, Trapped, and even to like the Blink 182s, the Green Days, like alternative rock and hip hop were like two of the big things I listened to growing up in my teenage years, and then that grew into DNB. Yeah, Trap, Headstrong, Echo, Still Frame, like, and plus I played hockey, so like Disturbed, the first Disturbed, yeah, Last Resort, Will You, like that's what we listened to playing hockey, and a lot of the kids I grew up, I had no choice but to listen to um, Is it Great Gig in the Sky? That yeah, I think it's Gig in the Sky. That's what Drunken Soldier kind of resembles. Drowning Pool, not as much as Drowning Pool. Yeah, here on out. This set list for night two in Alpine, just from the set list. Let me check in on my boy John Dix, who's there. John's usually on the stream. See what he's saying. How's the vibes for night two? But that stuff, that's what I used to listen to. Yeah, it's from a seller's perspective, but I don't know how it is at the show. Because again, it's Alpine Night too. It's a really popping venue for the band energy wise. So, but yeah, I used to listen to a lot of alternative rock because of hockey. I mean, the Disturbed's first album, we listened to that freshman year of high school. Now, this is like 2000, or no, sophomore year of high school. I didn't make, we only had a varsity, so I didn't make varsity my freshman year. I had to play like my eighth grade Bantam level. But then sophomore year of high school, Disturbed was like that first album was played, even though it came out in 2000. Disturbed was that song. You don't like love song? Are you playing? Are you trolling? All right, now you. The Foo Fighters. Yeah, I mean, like the hits for sure, like My Hero, Everlong, that type of stuff. Like All My Life, where I've been looking for something that, like I know that I have that stuff on my iPod. I like love songs, Chronicle AJ, man. You got like Maxwell, a smooth Maxwell song. Even a Peter Gabriel, a ballad there. Yeah, Everlong is a dope song. I literally listen to it. If you look on my page, like I've been to Stevie Wonder, Maxwell, that's Allman Brothers behind me, J. Cole, Big Sean, like love songs are gonna make you spend money on women. Actually, women. Oh, I gotta be careful. Here comes the flood. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here comes the flood. Yeah. Um, Here's the thing, AJ. You gotta find women that have money because women are kicking our butts right now. And you can find a woman that you is give and take. Yeah, they gonna you can give them money. They have their own money. That's what you got. Graduation rates, business rates. Women are killing it right now. But I'm gonna be careful talking about that. Women, that's not true. That's not true. You're looking at the wrong women. You're looking at the wrong women. There are women that will. Now you should still, it's up to you if you want to decide to invest in paying for their stuff. You can find women that are looking to invest in their men. There's a lot of women, unfortunately, that and men do too. They fall for these low lives that don't have a job, that don't have anything going for them. They still live in their mama's house, and but they're smooth and they're cool and they're slick about it, and they will make a woman with money fall in love with them. You see it all the time. I mean, it's a shame because men, we got to do better. We got to treat women better first off because we don't. You see all this stuff going on, but second off, I've seen so many dudes. I've had female from like now you can gonna I'm just gonna give my advice or whatever to who I see would see the dudes like. Like if you love the person, whatever, that's what you gotta do. But I've seen women have their own apartment, have their own house, and the dude's living with their mama. But the dude is 35, living with two roommates, and it's not New York City or San Francisco where you need roommates. Okay? Men, we got to do better. We have to do better. Get our credit up, get a job, get some money, save, invest. Okay? Because women are doing the darn thing. They face so much hatred and discrimination, they have no choice but to. But men got to get it together because I see all these dudes running around trying to be players and they don't got no money. You shouldn't be, first of all, I don't believe in being a player point blank serious. But if you're going to be a player, you got to have money. These dudes are trying to date and they don't got no money in their bank account. They living at their mama's house. Like tough times happen. You separate, you get a divorce, you got to go move back with your like it. Financial hardships happen, but dudes like some men right now, they've been living in la la land. They've had it so good. They're I'm a man. I have to work as hard. And mommy and daddy been catering to them, or mommy has been catering to them, and they are not stepping up in this generation. And not even I'm 28, but I even see dudes in their 40s and they don't got it together. They don't have it together, and I'm still trying to get it together at 28. And I got this little crib right here. I rent out. I got my car. I got good credit, all that stuff. But men are not like that. We got to do better. There's still men that are successful, whatever, X, Y, G, A, B, C. But there's a lot of dudes I see out here that don't know, like, forget knowing what it means to be a man. They don't have anything going for them. They don't have a job. They don't have this. They don't have that. We got to do better. Black, white, blue, green men are just. Anyway, let's stop. Let's stop with that because that's not my expertise. But quick little sidebar there. But this show, we'll see what we get and what people are saying. John still hasn't replied to that. But let's see. So you're saying women have much money, have a hard time. It depends because men have ego. Louisiana Bayou, what did I tell you? It's stand-up season out here. Oh, we didn't play stand-up last night, so we got to play Bayou. And I mean, that may be it. 2012. Yeah, see, I'm like, some men are intimidated if a woman makes more than them, and a lot of women make more than, not a lot, but there's a rising number amount of women who make more than men, and you can't be intimidated by that. If someone's real and loyal and trustworthy and not manipulative, forget how much more money they make. If you have your own money, if you have your own grind, who cares if the woman makes more? I don't care. But yeah. Anyway, let me. I'm trying to stay away from that because that's not my expertise. But I think that as a man, men can do better to treat women with respect, to stay loyal. If you're going to be married, men are just. Is it possible to book the gorge last minute and not have to camp? Yes, but it's going to be expensive. Chronicle, it's not going to become a competition. If you put ego aside, it's not going to be a competition. If you put ego aside, say, hey, you're making money, I'm making money, and we have dual incomes. It don't have, but men have ego. Oh, I gotta have more. No, if you got your own money, if you're spending within your means, and she got a bigger house, okay. As long as you're being a man, you're being respectful. But see, here's the thing, Connor AJ. There's a difference between masculine women and successful women. Because what's masculine? Because they make more, because they moved up the ladder quicker. There are, and that's the thing is, men are intimidated by someone that has more power in their career or has a higher standing. Where if they treat you with respect, if it's a two-way street, if it's give and take, there's a lot of great women that men are just afraid because they're so successful to date. And that's a whole different thing. Yeah, men don't normally care about that, but in this day and age, with the finances of things and the way things can break down, yeah, we're here to talk. Yeah, let's focus on music. He's trying to distract me. Anyway, sorry. Is it possible to book the gorge last minute and can't not have the camp? Yeah, it's gonna be expensive. See, the problem is you guys can sidetrack me easily. I get sidetracked like that. You bring up a topic, I'm very eclectic in my of things I can dig out of. But is it possible to book the gorge and not camp? Yeah, it's gonna be expensive. I'm not camping 3 nights in the gorge. I'm sorry. I camp down the street. Like like I would camp down the street maybe if I could go home. Like it's just in case I go home. I'm not camping three nights in a place 3,000 miles away from where I live. So I have hotel, but you're gonna have to pay, money for those hotels. You're gonna have to drive a little bit, 30 or 45 minutes, in certain cases to the gorge. But so if you have your money up, you can do it. And the tickets will find like the plane tickets slightly dipped down. I bought my tickets a couple weeks ago, and they were better than in Seattle. The Labor Day flights got better. Now they may go up again, but it was better to buy. I kept price watching since about February, and the biggest thing was the return flight on Labor Day, and I got a better deal waiting it out for a couple months. DMB Almanac page broke down. Do you have the Ants Marching DMB Hub? Because what I'm looking at is I'm on the Ants Marching's app for it's only Apple iOS only. So I'm at, like it says Bayou was the last song 12 is Bayou. So that's what I'm looking at. Because the Almanac it does crash, especially when but they do a great job. And please donate to the Almanac. I'm gonna try to do it if I can remember, do a campaign. Say, hey, one day we're just gonna all donate like $5 or $10 to the Almanac all at once, and they're gonna just see a flood of money because what the people do there. They were at Deer Creek. My buddy John was next to them, and they were there enjoying the show, which they should be. Someone was running the show for them. Or running the page for them while they enjoyed the show. So, I mean, support the Almanac because they have so much information. The fact that they had, like last night, one of the things that I didn't talk about was the cover that they had last night of that, which was Right Place, Wrong Time. It was the first time the full band had done it. And, but Carter and Tim had done it with the kind of Seville All Stars group in the 90s. So, I mean, the Almanac has such a vast, like just it's a vast portal into the everything DMB has done possibly that we could know of. That they had. That some stuff is unconfirmed. Some shows we don't know the timing, but it is what it is. And since he had a bunch of covers on the video, me and Alan did. Yeah, plethora of information. It's a great way to describe it. Since he had a bunch of covers, and that's a thing that Alan said, talking to him, said he didn't like. And I don't like a lot of covers. Okay. I was joking last night. I was like, somebody tell Dave that that third verse of Grace Street he used to sing that he doesn't remember, he actually stole it from Bob Dylan. It's a Bob Dylan song. Just tell him the third verse is from a Bob Dylan song. He'll sing it tomorrow. Someone tell him Dodo is a Neil Young song. Okay. Someone tell him Dodo is a Neil. Someone tell him Shotgun, not Shotgun, the Junior Walker interpolation on Stand Up, which we do not need to hear anymore. Although Buddy does a great job with it. Buddy does a great job with Shotgun, but I don't want to hear Stand Up anymore. Okay. It is cool to see Buddy lit and amped up, but let's hear Shotgun. Someone tell him that is a Willie Nelson song or a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song. Tell him Shotgun is a Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song, okay? And then he'll be like, oh, I got to cover this. Huh? That's the only way we're going to get, like, I don't care. Like, the covers take away from what could be played. And there's certain bands like Government Mule. I would love to hear them. I still haven't heard them live, but Warren Haynes would do a great job covering certain stuff. Yeah, so Fly Like an Eagle, Sledgehammer, Stairway. And to me, like the part of Stairway to Heaven they cover, I don't really care that they interpolate that part of it. I'm sorry, I don't care that they interpolate the certain part of Stairway that they do. Like I would rather them almost instead of Watchtower doing a bridge version of Stairway to Heaven. I know it's a longer song. Benny and the Jets. I just saw Elton John last year for his final tour, and I still had to frame that poster back there in that room back there and sitting with the Avid Brothers poster. But we'll cover Benny and Jets and do a 20-minute. Yeah, I mean it'll be interesting. We'll see how it works. And the other thing too is that's the other one thing is the thing I don't like about Jimmy thing, which are they gonna play it? Oh, if they have to play Jimmy thing, so that's probably gonna take another 20 minutes out. There's certain songs they should jam, and there's certain songs that they shouldn't jam. To me, Jimmy thing, while they have a lot of talent on their Jimmy thing jam, it's not that like it's kind of redundant now. And Jeff Coffin, I've seen him with two saxes in Saratoga Springs last year. It's back then too. Impressive. I was like, whoa, whoa, dude, that's crazy. But like, they do not have to make it that long. And I like a little funky here and there, but Jimmy thing, it's played out. Um, I'm just looking at some other DMB comments here. Are they playing JTR? Is that what you're saying? Talking to him? JTR is being played. Oh, hey, JTR. Yeah, 10 minutes for Jimmy is good enough. Which I said. That's what I said on this thing, man. I said there's probably like a JTR. Yeah, because I said my comment was I don't think they're gonna do more than one away from the world. They are going to add more whiskey and stand up, blanketing some rarer songs like Stone Pig, Say Goodbye, and possibly one or two unreleased rarities like JTR or Break Free, etc. They aren't going to go to Alpine just to bust out Away from the World, which is the least ready live material, which is the least ready live material, even if it's a better album than Stand Up. And so far, two unreleased rarities. Number 27. Someone said Joyride in these comments here. Someone said Joyride bust out would be awesome. I don't know. They're 12 songs in, so it's gonna be hard to say if they're gonna do it that late. Um, but they've done the 27. They've done JTR. So we'll see what they do next. Did we get last night? What was last night? Was there a two-step last night? Let me see last night's set. Oh yeah, two-step in the ants marching. Yeah. So they already did two-step last night. So do they do into ants? So what they close with will be interesting tonight because they've done what they were kind of the night two anticipation has been that two-step into Halloween. That's like what people want. That's what the people want. I mean, what other way to end the show with Halloween? Do they do a Halloween straight up? I don't know. Or Watchoween. Talking Tunes had on his set list for the set list game. Watchtower into Halloween. So Time Bomb in the two step. That would be dope. A thank you to Halloween. Um, Perhaps. I mean, that's a big shift to go from thank you to Halloween. But that's been a song that Alpine and even Wrigley Field got the Midwest gets that thank you thank you a lot. So maybe I don't see them going back to back. I think one or the other. But we'll see because they've played a lot of stuff. See, classic Space Between Watchtower is your prediction. That would suck if they ended on Watchtower for their like to close with Watchtower after all this stuff. But see, the thing that's interesting is when you don't get certain stuff night one, you'll get recaps of the tour from the previous year. So, for instance, today We get a Billy's to start off, which is a pretty cool thing to start off. And then we get a Shaking Like a Monkey, which hasn't been played that much. But you get a Big Whiskey because they haven't played Big Whiskey. They cross it off. You get a 41 because it wasn't played last night. You get a Stay or Leave, which is a song that was in rotation. You get a Samurai Cop because you didn't get it last night. You get an Everyday because that just shows off Buddy. And then you get like obviously 27, but you get a Great Street. Sugar Will is something that they're going to show. And Sledgehammer. Oh, we haven't played it night one. We got to play it night two. So Bayou, Sledgehammer, Here on Out, Samurai Cop, Everyday, 41. These are songs that are going to be plastered in as, hey, we've been playing this all summer. We want to give you guys a taste because there's 2 nights. And when certain stuff isn't crossed off on night one, night two is going to be more standard. And that's what we're seeing here. If Samurai Cop was played last night, then you don't have Samurai Cop tonight. If Bayou was played last night, you don't have Bayou tonight. If Bayou and Stand Up were played like they have a lot of shows, if those were played last night, then you have a lot more curveballs for tonight. But because certain stuff wasn't crossed off tonight, you're gonna have that shredded in. And that's what I saw last year in SPAC. Saratoga Springs night 2. Lover Lay Down. Lover Lay Down is next. Song 14. Let me go to my personal shows. Maybe a tour debut. Yeah. I heard it last year at SPAC. So last year at SPAC, we got night 2, we got Again and Again. I'm just picking songs that were in rotation. SPAC night 2 was mellow. Yeah, now they were chill and mellow. But like we got the Satellite, the Come On, which was being played a lot that year. Sledgehammer. We got Samurai Cop, Bayou, Shaking Like a Monkey. Oh, we did that last year. I was like, dude, I'm at SPAC. I don't want to hear Shaking Like a Monkey. It's a SPAC night too. But we got She, like the classic examples of last year's SPAC night 2. She, Samurai Cop, which I think was played both nights. Bayou, Sledgehammer, Come On, Satellite. Those were songs that, hey, we didn't get to them the first night. We're slamming them in night 2, in between all the good stuff. We got JTR last year and Big Eye Fish, Bartender. And even Do You Remember was thrown in there as well. Well, then we got Steady As We Go. Like, that was the curveball. Yeah, that 2-step was interesting. But you know what, Benny? The one thing that I think changed that show was they had to go through customs and play a show in Canada the next night, which I was pissed about because I finally get confirmed for SPAC Night 2. Still blessed, still great. I was in the balcony, like I was in like the second row of the balcony behind the box. I mean, dead center. You can't beat, like, money could not buy that seat. Like, no one would trade that seat to me. But at the same time, like, you could tell he does a 40 partial, then he does Sisters Neil's 2-step, which I was happy to get 2-step, but it wasn't the same version that they got in Deer Creek. And they had to go the next day after SPAC. They had to go over to Canada, so you have to go through customs. You have to get all the equipment through customs and everything, and then play a festival the next night in Canada. I think it was Montreal or Quebec, one of those. Montreal's in Quebec, but I can't remember if it was in the city of Montreal or Quebec City in Quebec province. But yeah, that's the thing, is it just wasn't. It was a great show. The JTR made my night. I mean, it was worth going. I don't regret going on the trip, but I felt like the ending. They did 2-step, which was rare last year, for sure. But they kind of just got to the end, and there was no double encore, and they were kind of chill, and they had to save energy for the next year. But that's all I got for right now. We're hitting an hour and 30. Save some of your stuff for next week. Definitely should be on next week. Week after that, I got John Mayer on July 20th. But I'm excited for this tour, and I'm excited for John Mayer. If any of you guys are fans of him, man, he is on fire right now. He is kind of at his Dave Matthews Band 2004 right now. You know, you look at the '04 tour and Joyride and Sugar Will. That's where I feel John Mayer is. He's got age. He's crossing over. He's 41 or 42, 77. He's 40. He'll be 42 in October. So he is number 41. I can't believe I just said that. That's really cheesy. Oh, he's number 41. I'm becoming that fan. But John Mayer is at his Dave Matthews Band '04 right now. I mean, dude is just on fire. And I'm just trying to enjoy that ride because, you know, at some point he'll be just like Dave in his 50s, late 50s. So, but John Mayer, man, he's playing with the Dead tonight in Boulder, Colorado, last show of the tour. And then he's going to go on his solo touring later this month. Hoping to go to open night in Albany on the 19th. And then I got tickets for the 20th, which is in Providence, Rhode Island. So if you're going to that show, you know, I'll be there. Yep. But I'm excited for that. And then after John Mayer, I don't know what else I'm going to get in for shows. The Gourd is my number one thing. After John Mayer, 19th and 20th, it's really just waiting for the next month. Resting up in August. Oh, your fiance's daughter and husband Columbus show. Oh, there's a Dave Solo show in Tennessee. I don't know. See, Dave Solo's different because he comes in, he's gonna do Satellite and Don't Drink the Water, and sometimes Samurai Cop. And Mercy, he's been doing solo a lot. But the full band shows are what kill him. August 3rd, Mayer's coming to Columbus. Okay. Dude is, I mean, John Mayer, man. He came with the trio's not touring with him, but Pino Palladino and Steve Jordan, they had their own set. They did like 3 or 4 songs at most shows. Ooh, they took away everything else, just the trio. Dude killed John Mayer. Because here's the thing about John Mayer. People talk about Dave Matthews and all this stuff. Da, 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 da. John Mayer just is an amazing guitar. What he plays for his pop stuff is hold on. Give me Now, like Your Body is a Wonderland is an easy song to play, but like Neon and In Your Atmosphere, like his acoustic stuff is very technically sound. It's harder to play than Dave. And then he has his own electric stuff. I mean, John Mayer, when we look back at him, history is going to look good on John Mayer. A lot of people hate him because he has been a jerk. He's from smug Fairfield County, Connecticut. His parents are educators, so that's where I think he gets full of himself. His parents were older too, so he's from a very rich town, a wealthy part of Connecticut, and his parents are educators. I'm talking like tenured teachers or super principals or whatever. But so he's always been like a tool at times, but he's humbled down over the years. And I mean, dude, just the way he plays for his generation. Okay, I'm not talking about things before him, but the way that he can go from genre to genre. He's producing stuff for hip hop cats, playing electric guitar. He's played with Kanye and the Roots and all that stuff. Been on Chappelle's show. His eclectic taste, his eclectic flexibility to be with the Grateful Dead, then to be with the Roots and Kanye and Khaled, an R&B singer, and then he has Little Nas X. So like he is like literally, he's gonna be one of those guys you're gonna see like his legacy will be left like playing at the Michael Jackson funeral, the Human Nature cover, like playing with Alicia Keys. John Mayer is gonna be a guy that even beyond what Dave Matthews could do, John Mayer just is everywhere, and his shows. That's the best part. He can play the same show every night. He mixes in 2 or 3 songs here and there, but he does a little bit of what Dave does because you'll see certain stuff come out that he hasn't played in a while. Every couple shows, oh, that hasn't been played in years. So he does that, but he does acoustic by himself. He does stuff where he's with the trio. This year he won't be. I don't think full trios with them this year. But he does stuff where it's just a couple of his guys playing. Then he has stuff with a full backup singers and all this other stuff. I mean, John Mayer, check him out. If he's coming to your area, check him out because dude is just on fire. He's playing with the Grateful Dead, then he goes to his solo stuff. Then he's doing shows with Dave Chappelle, where it's music and comedy. Like, I think the world of him because being a kid who grew up, I'm 28, growing up learning guitar in an era where he was popping. He could have easily been an Adam Levine or Cornbread. This set, I mean, well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what the reports are. I mean, Cornbread's cool. It was great in Hartford, but I'm not a huge Cornbread guy. But the song, I love Cornbread. uh, cornbread, like real cornbread. But anyway, let me chill with that. But anyway, so yeah, John Mayer, man, he's the man. But we'll see what this set is. It seems like what are they at right now? Wow, they're 15 songs in, so they do have a little bit of space before they get to 21. But the set is winding down. It's really going to take, and I just think when we look at this set, again, audio, once the tape versions are released, maybe that'll be a huge play. But when we look at this set right now, what's really going to determine it is how it ends. Because you have 27, you have Love Will Lay Down, you have Sugar Will, for sure. I mean, really great stuff. And you have JTR. I mean, I think the JTR, how that sounds too. And to do JTR Love Will Lay Down, which did they do that in SPAC Night 2 last year? Cornbread, yeah. I saw that DMB say Cornbread. It's all right. It doesn't do much for me, depending on the show. I mean, they played it at Hartford and it was amazing. Let's see, JTR. Oh no, they did JTR Big Eye Fish Level SPAC Night 2. But I thought it was like around that time because I went to the bathroom during Love Will Lay Down SPAC Night 2 because I was like, this is a great song and Jeff sounded amazing in Love Will Lay Down. But I was like, this is SPAC. I got to go to the bathroom now because again, they started off with again and again Big Eye JTR to Big Eye Fish. I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to go to the bathroom. I was wrong. They had Satellite. They had Come On, Come On. They had Bayou. Then they had some other stuff that I could have went to the bathroom during. But I went right away instead of being sorry. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Let me save stuff for next week. Talking Tunes, we'll try to, Alan, I'll talk to you after this and into tomorrow to see about what I can do to try to get this resolved. If you can upload it to your page, I want to get the content up. If it's your page, I'd rather have it on your page. You did a lot of the work being there. I just want people to see this because they should see what we put together between what you gave us with the insight and what I mixed. So, but thank you guys. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. DMB Setlist. Are you on Twitter at DMB Setlist too? Is that your name? Because I'll look you up on Twitter. Oh, that's you? Because I see it's at DMB Setlist. What's your Twitter handle? Because it says there's one from. Oh, that's your. Okay, let me add that because I just looked up DMB Setlist and it's like doesn't have any tweets. Okay, that's why. Let me add you right now. But thank you for checking me out. I'm definitely gonna check out your stuff too. Oh, here you are. Okay, I'm from. Oh, you're a Browns fan? Yo, Baker Mayfield needs to put his. I mean, I think it's great the Browns are going to be competitive, but Baker Mayfield needs to put his money where his mouth is. I've seen the beef he's had with with Colin Cowherd, but Odell Beckham and him, like they got to have some maturity. and they haven't proven anything yet. But I would love to see the Browns mix it up. I would love for that. I'm a Patriots fan here in Connecticut, so I know you probably hate me actually more. I'm a Yankees Patriots, but that's an interesting story because I've been a Yankees fan since my grandfather had held me, but I'm a Patriots fan. That's my team that I picked because I was bandwagon. They played in '97. They played in the Super Bowl, and that's when I was like, yeah, go Patriots, yeah. Then they lost to because of Desmond Howard, and then I just followed them through to the 2000s. Not a Michigan fan, although we have Patrick Brewer, who's not on right now. He's a diehard Michigan fan. Not a Michigan fan. I'm a Connecticut guy, so UConn is my team. They're trash. But yes, I'm not a Michigan fan, although at times, like if I, oh, you're an OSU, no, oh, you're an OSU fan. Okay, yeah, I'm a UConn football fan. We're trash. Matter of fact, we're leaving the AAC, and we're after this year we'll probably be independent. But football has not worked out well for us. We made it to the Fiesta Bowl against the Sooners, and that was it. Danny Orlovsky was our quarterback, who was part of that Lions team who had 0 wins. He was the starter for that. So I mean, we really, and that was one of our best quarterbacks who made it to the Motor City Bowl and won, and then he got picked by the Lions and lost all his games for one of those years. But I go to UConn football games. I wish our offense was better, but recruiting is hard up here. We're a basketball, uh, we're a basketball university, and even basketball, men's basketball, has been hard to recruit in the post Jim Calhoun era. We haven't had much luck keeping guys. A lot of guys have transferred out, and we had Kevin Ollie, he's better as an assistant coach, which he was doing in the NBA, than actually being the head coach. I'm a UConn hockey guy myself. I have season tickets to them. Flyers fan. For hockey, used to be a Whalers fan. They left when I was 6.5. Went to the last Whalers game, and then Key Primo got traded a couple years later for the Flyers. But we'll have to talk more. I'll follow you on Twitter, Insta. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. But that's all I got for today, guys. It's your boy Constant Riz 34. Peace.